Welcome to MINDSHOCK Live Q&A edition 55. Or is it 55? Let's bring back Ebonics. I saw a funny meme on Twitter. Should I? Let me see if I can find it. Maybe we'll start this off with a bang. Let me know if the audio's good. In 100 years, we have gone from teaching Latin and Greek in high school to teaching remedial English in college. And let's not forget Ebonics. I've talked about Ebonics a few times. I don't know why I think it's so funny, but teaching Ebonics in school. Welcome everyone. Flat Bob, Dragon Tracer, Austin MP, Justin Johnson, the one and only, Mr. 1-to-1, I got a lot of comments I missed. Sarah Catherine, Flatman B Official, Les Xylophone, Clark Rice, the one and only. Where have you been, Clark? Missed Clark a little bit. The fall enslaves us all. The fall enslaves us all was calling for a 5-minute countdown. Should we bring that back? Pinto Sack, Eric Petersman. Flatless. Eddie Bravo interview was fire. And Austin MP also said earlier, Eddie Bravo episode went hard in the paint. It did, didn't it? We got to do a follow-up on that one. Yeah, Eddie seems to really believe that Alex Jones is not a shill through his personal relationship with him. But he did say, this was very interesting actually, Eddie Bravo said he also doesn't think Joe Rogan's a shill, but he said if they were shills, they wouldn't tell him about it. Which is curious. The same, and he also said if he were a shill, he wouldn't tell them. I mean, you gotta love Eddie Bravo's logical breakdowns on everything. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever phrased it quite that way. And notice how non-egotistical Eddie Bravo was. He didn't pretend to know everything. He gave his opinion, but he also gave a counterpoint. I mean, that's true logic and reason there. Dragon Tracer says, Bruce, can we discuss the topic of sports today? Which are the realest and least tampered with? Unlike football, basketball, and so on. Probably roller jam, right? That's a good question. I don't know. What about aerial freestyle skiing? Can you tamper with that? Maybe track and field? I didn't even do the intro. Yeah, we're going to go over a lot. I dropped which movie we're going to be going over. We're going to actually go over more than one, and I think is, yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll also be breaking down why Hollywood is such trash now and the de-evolution of cinema as an art form in general. We've gone over this quite a few times, but I think this particular movie Hunting season with the one and only Mel Gibson. If you haven't checked out his Illuminati interview, check that out here on the channel, here on MindShock, where we go over everything with logic and reason at the forefront, attempting not to fall for any logical fallacies like pretty much everything else out there. If you want to help support the channel, you can donate to our PayPal. Check the link in the description. Make sure you're subscribed, like, and share. Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcast, or requests. You could also be a guest in the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. Unless, of course, you're with us here live. Then drop them in the live chat. I'll try to get to all of them. You could also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the channel that way. Pinto Sack says, was going through your X. Seems like you've been dealing with a lot of goofs. No shortage of goofs on the X platform. I still call it Twitter. Yeah, no, they don't know that I'm actually collecting psychological data for my book on the Dunning-Kruger effect that's been in the work for a few years now. It will be a seminal work, no doubt. They are all my experimental subjects. I just find it interesting how dedicated some of these humiliation fetishists are to digging a deeper hole, and their projection cope spirals sometimes go on for over a week. And so, yes, all of that data is being collected for the book. So I gotta thank all of them. And it's hilarious. Their goofery is also hilarious, so I get the free comedy in addition to the free data. Yeah, Lord Zed is not here. He was here the other day, wasn't he? South to West says the Mel Gibson interview is incredible. Boggin says Matrix 1 was the last good movie out of Hollywood. I don't even know how The Matrix got made. But no, there were a couple of movies after that. Wasn't Gladiator made after that? I think Gladiator was made after Matrix 1. Pinto Sack asks, Bruce, have you gone over the Richard Allen appeal? Not yet. Yeah, I need to do an update on the Delphi case. Dragon Tracer says, golf? I don't know about golf. Can't they mess with the ball? If they're using some kind of magnetic stuff? How do you mess with track and field? I mean, possibly with pole vault? Or even discus, maybe? But the running events, like, how do you mess with the running events? Justin Johnson says they can rig any of it. Well, I mean, other than paying off the runners, I mean, unless they're using, like, what kind of technology would they use to rig track and field without letting the runners know? Unless, I mean, maybe if they're putting, I don't know, their shoes, if they provide the shoes and somehow use some kind of electromagnetic manipulation to increase the pull backwards or something. Pinto Sack says, everything got worse after 9/11 was like the peak of society. Pinto Sack, were you here for all of our examinations of the greatest decade? I even have a jumbo podcast on the decline of the West, on pinpointing the exact moment. We narrowed down the peak year. Oh, now I forgot what it was. It was either 92, I think it was 92 or 93. We narrowed it down in 1992. Because 1992 was still similar to the 80s. Even 93-ish. 94, now you're precipitously going downhill with technology and other issues. The grunge era. Just a lot more psychological decline, mental health decline. Promiscuity skyrocketing, degeneracy snowballing. Not that it wasn't around before, but just that precipitous tipping point, possibly to the point of no return. Boggin says, agreed, 1999 was peak Hollywood. 2000 was pretty decent, too. A lot of good movies came out in 2000. Possibly even 2001-ish. I think 2002 was a noticeable decline. And onward. What was like the... Did we go over this? What was like the last great movie other than Top Gun Maverick? Like, other than the recent one, where was the... Where, like, what was the last... Was it Gladiator? It wasn't Gladiator. Well, there was something made after Gladiator. And of course, Gladiator not as good as Braveheart, but it's still a pretty decent film. That was 2000. That came out, let's see, May 12th, May 1st, 2000. May 5th. Premiered May 1st in LA, May 5th everywhere else in the US. What else came out in 2000? The Replacements. That was an awesome movie. One of the greatest football films of all time. Who hasn't seen Keanu in The Replacements? What a year 2000 was. I've probably seen this movie like at least 15 times. I was actually never a Keanu Reeves fan. This was probably the only movie other than The Matrix that I could kind of stomach him in. And maybe Point Break was kind of okay. But that's pretty much it. I don't think I really like Keanu in anything. Like, he's okay in the John Wick movies, but... Yeah, I'm not a Keanu fan. I don't know if we kind of went over that. Some might find that blasphemous. Sarah Catherine says, Bruce, I'm really sad. Why are you sad? Did you say that before or after I said I'm not a Keanu fan? Rodney says, Hollywood still puts out a great film once in a while, but not consistently. Well, I don't know about great. I mean, Top Gun Maverick is probably the only so-called great film in decades. I mean, I just can't recall anything just absolutely incredible in a really long time. Steven Seagal, what was Exit Wounds was 2001, right? Yeah, it was 2001. What a year. 2000, 2001 still had some solid films. I mean, look at the cinematic masterpiece immortalized in celluloid for the rest of eternity known as Exit Wounds. Just a brilliant film. The Thespian, Steven Seagal, the most accomplished human living today, and DMX. Possibly the most real rapper, the realest rapper there ever was. What a combo. What a combo. Dragon Tracer says Steven Seagal peak film. Indeed. Indeed. It's probably Seagal's last great film. Belly of the Beast 2004 was okay. And I know this is blasphemous, but I still haven't seen Attrition. Is that 2018? Supposedly that was his last decent movie in the past decade. Dragon Tracer says it seems to be in progressive steps. 2001, 2012, and the end of the last decade. Then it went down the crapper. Yeah, everything's basically complete filth. But this Mel Gibson movie is actually really good for the people who haven't seen it. What the heck? They have a... I'm getting Mandela affected here. I don't see the original poster. There's some kind of a new poster that I've never seen before and seems to have nothing to do with the movie. But in 2016, Mel Gibson came out with Bloodfather. For those who haven't seen Bloodfather, check it out. It's really good. One of the last great films. It's a little bit low budget. That's really the only thing holding it back. If it was bigger budget, I mean, we could really call it a masterpiece. But it's absolutely unbelievable. It also has one of the best monologues I've ever seen. I've played it before. I'll play it again, though. But yeah, 2011 was the year of demarcation that I gave for the... Flat Bob says, did you get my question at the beginning? It's way up at the top. It might be easier to just ask it again, Flat Bob. Flatless 12 Angry Men is one of the best movies ever and teaches logic and reason. Yeah, I saw one of the remakes, too. It was kind of decent as well. Not the original, of course. Solid. Yeah, 2011, not just Hollywood, but 2011 just in general as the year. Sarah Catherine, why are you sad? You said you were sad? Am I even getting all the messages? Southwest says Seagal and DMX, like Lennon and McCartney. Simply incredible. And who could argue that? Am I missing Sarah's comments here? Oh, a girl. Oh, that's terribly tragic. Girl in my family attempted suicide a few days ago. She's dying in the hospital right now. She's on life support. Hopefully she pulls through. Yeah, that is incredibly tragic. I hope we can help your mood here, Sarah. Feel free to request any topics. Scott Hawkins says, I have to give it to Santa's Sleigh. It was incredible, Bruce. One of the greatest Christmas films of all time. And Santa's Sleigh, which I think we went over that. It was like over a year ago, maybe now? And this is practically like a high-level film theory class at this point. This is like PhD-level film we're discussing. Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg. One of the greatest Christmas films of all time. That was 2005. Wow, quite a while ago. But yeah, Mel Gibson's Bloodfather was 2016. But as far as the line of demarcation, I would say 2011, and then the previous one might have been around 1992, 93. Eric Petersman says Gangs of New York and There Will Be Blood. I haven't seen either one of them, believe it or not. What was Gangs, like 2001-ish? Oh, wow, 2002. Yeah, I'm not a big Scorsese fan. Wolf of Wall Street was actually pretty good, though. So that was 2013. Wolf of Wall Street was pretty decent. Like, the entertainment value was on point for that film. 2013. I gotta hand it to that movie. Like, it was actually pretty funny and entertaining. Clark Rice says the day before Murmur's disappearance was the high watermark for society. Before Facebook. Before the CIA operation. Flatman B official says, ever see Get the Gringo? It's a good Mel Gibson movie. Yeah, I really didn't like it at all. And I'm a huge Mel Gibson fan. I think Mel Gibson is probably the greatest director of all time. No offense to Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal's work on Deadly Ground was absolutely brilliant. Another absolute masterpiece from Steven Seagal on Deadly Ground. But Mel Gibson, for Braveheart alone, both acting and directing. But yeah, no, I really didn't like Get the Gringo at all. I barely even remember it. I just remember not liking it at all. Apocalypto is really good, but you gotta be in a certain mood for that one. Critter Mama says 2000 was a disappointment. Where's my Jetson mobile? There were flying cars in the 70s. We went over them. Flatless says, Bruce, do you have a ballpark percentage of how much of the mass shooters are MK Ultra? What are you constituting as a mass shooter? You mean covered extensively on the media, or just benchmark, like used as a mark for a statistical mark? Of the highly covered, of the ones that get high media coverage, probably incredibly high. Of the ones that don't get coverage, maybe not as high. Austin MP says Signs is sick. Yeah, Signs was a really good movie. I actually like The Village even more. The Village is my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. Some people think it's also a Flat Earth type movie. On just how easy it is to maintain an illusion. The Village was 2004. Signs, I believe, was before that. Yeah, 2002. Yeah, The Village is definitely my favorite M. Night movie. Did M. Night make Old? I haven't seen Old. That's a newer one. But yeah, 2011 is what we kind of... Just based on everything. Like, even when the sun started turning more white instead of yellow, it seemed to be more pronounced. It seemed to have gone beyond... Like, incredibly noticeable 2011. Whereas I'm sure it was dimming slowly from the previous years. But I think there was still, like, a little bit of yellowish tint in 2010 and prior. And obviously the 90s quite yellow. Lord Racer. Welcome. Ricky Rabs. Old was okay. Yes, M9. Oh, Clark Rice. That was Polybius. The PSYOP video game. Yeah, I did a whole podcast on that. Check that out if you haven't checked that out. It's fascinating history for people who are a fan of arcade games. Dragon Tracer says, the year you mentioned, Bruce, is before the smartphone became mainstream and the internet commercialized. You mean 2011? Instagram came out around 2011 as well. Yeah. Yeah, 2011 was the line of demarcation that I gave. Just based on everything. Literally everything. Chemtrails, whatever. Just everything. It seems like everything reached such a point where it was just such a noticeable decline. Like, for example, if you're living in 2010 or 2008, not a huge difference. But between 2008 and 2011, pretty huge. Maybe not huge between 2012 and 2011, but yeah, there seems to be a major line. I'm not 100% sure about that 2000 or 2001 line. 2002 was not that bad of a year. I mean, yes, there was definitely a huge energy shift, 9/11. Satanic holiday of sacrifice. But yeah, and some people even say that might be the actual birthday of Jesus Christ. But anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, I really don't think, like, especially compared to 2011, 2002 was not that bad of a year. Or 2003. I mean, was it really that much worse than the day before 9/11? I mean, yeah, there's decline happening at all times, but how substantial was that decline? Was everything really to the point of irreversible degeneracy in those years, where you could argue 2011 was that year that 2001 was not? Sphinx Bear, you don't remember me going over the Mayans? They did not predict the world would end in 2012. The age would end, the previous age. And with all the mistranslations in the calendar, that could have been somewhat accurate. Angle of Elevation says, did you read my comment the other day about sleep, that your mind paralyzes your muscles in stage 5 REM to prevent your muscles from acting out a dream? Stage 5 REM. I don't even remember all the stages. We need to do a podcast more on dreaming. If you haven't checked out the Eddie Bravo interview, Eddie Bravo goes deep into dreaming. He's definitely given that a lot of thought. Boggin says, I wonder what year we are truly in since creation, 6,000 something. Well, creation is tough. Creation of the current cycle, the previous cycle, creation of everything. That's kind of weird. I think they started counting from the previous reset. So if the timeline is 1,000 years off, we're in the year 1026 right now, approximately. From the previous reset, but not from the beginning of the world. And I actually went over some receipts on that in the Real History of the World series. So you guys can check that out if you haven't checked that out already. Pinto Sack says, yeah, we were promised jetpacks by like 2000 when I was a wee lad. Jetpacks have been out for a while too. You can buy one right now. They're like $300,000. Every now and then there's something on the news about somebody either getting arrested or crashing with a jetpack. One of the biggest things though is the lack of emotion. Everybody's just becoming so zombified. Whether it's just from looking at screens all day, just the absolute plummet of testosterone levels and the rise of soy. Everybody just seems completely mentally out of it. So highs aren't as high, lows aren't as low, and everything's just in this glazed over, apathetic, zombified life. And it seems to just, again, when you watch videos from the 80s or 90s, early 90s anyway, people just enjoying life. You don't really see that anymore. Maybe in like villages far away from cities. Flat Bob says, Bruce, my question was, what are your thoughts on Trump's a year in jail for burning the American flag? Isn't that an infringement on our free speech? Absolutely. If you're not calling for violence, you can burn whatever property you want. Yeah, that's weird. I have no idea what's going on with Trump. Was he really a Trojan horse? Dragon Tracer says, agree with the change in people, Bruce. And it's always more pronounced. Like when you see once in a blue moon, you'll encounter a person who's not like that. And then that really, really demonstrates how the majority have become zombified. Lord Racer says, I didn't care about Y2K at all. I didn't even own a computer in 99. Yeah, I need to do a whole podcast on Y2K because I remember that really well. And supposedly something did happen. There was an Y2K event. They just covered it all up. And I have to do a whole podcast on that because not a lot of people talk about that. Like, supposedly a lot of computer systems and defense systems did go down. Obviously there wasn't widespread blackouts, but something happened. Yes, I am familiar with REM. I thought you said stage 5 REM as if REM had different stages of REM, not the stages of sleep, angle of elevation. Dragon Tracer says, what I meant is that life in the 90s was different and took a little drop into the 2000s. After 2011, it was sharper. And end of the last decade, it changed even more drastically. That's my observation. Yeah. Although, yeah, largely because of COVID, but COVID and massive inflation. All right, so do you guys want to listen to the clip from Bloodfather? This is one of the most realist moments in a movie ever. Like, I remember watching this for the first time, and this movie was so deep. Mel's not even in this scene, but yeah, let me see if I can find it. Man, I played it on a different live. I can't find it right now, but it's such a good scene. I always get so annoyed when I can't find the scenes I'm looking for. Alright, hold on. Maybe I can find it. Or maybe not. Do you guys? I can get the scene. It's gonna take a while though. All right, let's do this. Let's let me discuss the movie we're here to discuss. And it is hunting season. So this is the latest Mel Gibson movie, the 2025. And Sylvester Stallone's daughter is in this as well. But she only has a small role. She's pretty bad in it, actually. She's alright on Tulsa King, but she's pretty bad in this one. So hunting season kind of encompasses everything wrong with Hollywood these days. Everything is just half-arsed, like completely. This is like a rough draft of a movie that could have been phenomenal. Spoilers. I actually posted something in the community tab, post tab section on YouTube for people that follow that I'd be going over this movie on the next live. Mel is fantastic. And the movie's pretty decent. Everybody else is not as good, obviously. I mean, Mel Gibson, the only thespian that could possibly rival Alex Jones. I mean, I don't know. He's not that close, but I mean, at least we maybe can talk about him in the same category. The thespianism of Jones, of course, on a completely different level than anyone else out there. I mean, Jones can truly do it all. And someone actually requested this clip. I haven't played it in a while, so check this out.
Walk out of a restaurant and they're having a biker rally. And it wasn't like a nice biker rally. Most rallies are nice people. It was like thug wannabes rode up with a motorcycle and were revving it, looking at me. And I was thinking, okay, all right, that guy's taking his helmet off. I'm going to punch him in the throat the minute he tries to get up and do something. And then I'm going to assault those next three guys. Then they'll probably pull a weapon. I need to take that. I mean, that's what I'm thinking whenever something like that's going on. I can't help it. I'm thinking, all right, I'm ready to kill. I mean, that's just how I am. And I'm thinking, all right, okay, instantly assess these guys. These are probably ex-con, real criminals. I've got my 3 kids here. I'm a white guy. That gives me, you know, just turbo dinosaur power. And I'm thinking, control yourself. Don't have a fight unless you've absolutely got to. You know, the man in me is ready to take them all on. And gosh, you know what I'm talking about out there, don't you? You scum. I hate gang members and filth. And it has nothing to do with black people. I'm a white guy. But I will stomp your head in if you start a fight with me, you thug scum.
I mean, just Jones's ability. His ability to just go from 0 to 100. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. And then back down to 0. And then back to 100. Just all at the drop of a dime. I mean, look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Is that not the eyes of a madman? The greatest thespian of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Jones. Is he even the same Alex Jones of today? I do not know. Anyway, back to hunting season. So, in this movie, there's just really no development of any kind. They don't really go into Mel's background at all. Oh, by the way, another super great Mel Gibson movie. Let me get the name of this. This one was really good. I've seen this one quite a few times. What was the year? I mean, he's done quite... he also did a Christmas movie, Fat Man, which was pretty good in 2020. Wow, he was in Boss Level? Haven't seen that one. He's done a lot of stuff recently. I don't think most of it was good. He was in Father Stew. Was that with... That was with Mark Wahlberg. I did see that. But I don't think it was very good. I barely remember anything about it. Hot Seat was decent. Okay, On the Line was good too. Okay, so what was the movie I'm thinking of? Edge of Darkness. Yeah, 2010. So he hadn't really done a movie for quite a few years. Almost 10 years. And then he came out with Edge of Darkness in 2010. Also before that 2011 line of demarcation. Anyway, with hunting season, there's very little background on anything. It's like a first draft of a movie. Dragon Tracer says, is it good though? Haven't seen it. Yeah, I mean, I don't regret watching it. It was fun to watch. It's definitely fun. I mean, there was only like 1 or 2 action sequences. There definitely should have been like at least 1 or 2 more with more tension. I mean, there were like 2 real action scenes. There should have easily been like 1 or 2 more with just more tension and development. There was like a woods. It was like more backwoods. Like there's just so much. There was so much opportunity. Like you could see how promising of a first draft this was. But in this era, like I don't know. Let's find out who the director was because there's no way this is an older director. This is some kind of participation trophy director. R.J. Collins. Wow. I didn't look this guy up, but looking at this guy's picture now, the movie kind of makes sense. Wow. Wow. I'll put it on the screen in a second. So this is R.J. Collins. I don't know why Mel just didn't direct the movie. If Mel directed it, I mean, it would have been phenomenal. This is R.J. Collins. That explains a lot about the movie. I mean, look at the soy goof. I mean, look at the soy goofery. He's only directed 4 films. He directed American Sicaro, Don't Suck, Crescent City, and Hunting Season. So he's only been directing movies for less than 5 years. So yeah, that explains a lot. So this is like some kind of participation trophy soy goof. And this whole movie is like a first draft. I mean, the potential is all there. There's twists, there's turns, and there's a gang, a cartel gang, whatever. But there's no backstory on any of it. There's not really a development of the town. There's a little bit of character development, not a ton. And the ingredients are all there to be a great film. If this was made in the 90s or early 2000s, like, this would have been a phenomenal film. And this is everything wrong with modern Hollywood now. Like when you watch a movie like Top Gun Maverick, yeah, it did have the original to kind of lean on. But even without the original, like, there's a lot of development there. There's a lot of flushed out story and characters. For hunting season, there's really not much. But the ingredients are all there, which makes it almost even worse. Because if the ingredients weren't there, then you could just write it off. This is garbage. But the ingredients were all there for a good film. And if you watch it, and if you just, as a thought experiment, if this exact movie was made in the 90s, early 2000s, or 80s, whatever, it would actually be really, really good. They would have flushed it out so it wouldn't be like a first draft type of movie. Most movies coming out these days, they're like first draft type movies. Even if the effects are good or whatever, or the budget is high. This was a pretty low budget movie anyway. Dragon Tracer says, he looks like a character from Wii Sports. The way he's standing is total video game character. Yeah. Dragon Tracer says, now I'm unsure if I want to watch it. It's pretty good. I mean, I can't think of a better movie that came out in 2025, though. I'm trying to think. What was the best movie of 2025? I haven't actually seen a lot of movies from 2025 because they're mostly trash. Everything's been trash for so many years now. Wow, someone posted on the movie subreddit that they actually saw 290 movies just in 2025. That's almost one a day. So I haven't seen One Battle After Another, the new DiCaprio movie. I haven't really seen a lot of movies from 2025. I'm trying to see. I didn't watch the new Predator. Oh, Final Destination Bloodlines. I did watch that one. That actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was actually pretty decent. It's probably one of the better horror movies of the past few years. But yeah, I'm looking through these. I haven't seen Weapons. A lot of people said that was pretty good. I haven't seen the new Frankenstein. Haven't seen the Springsteen movie. Didn't watch the new Fantastic Four movie. That looks like garbage. Didn't watch Thunderbolts. That looks like garbage. Didn't see Dangerous Animals. Didn't see Blue Moon. Didn't see The Surfer. Is The Surfer Yeah, that was Nick Cage. Is that good? Actually, it looks like it came out in 2024, though. Yeah. Well, okay. It debuted at Cannes in 2024, but it looks like it was released 2025. I don't know. I don't know what year that is. I haven't watched the new Jurassic World movie, but the recent Jurassic Park movies or Jurassic World movies, they weren't that horrible. Pinto Sack says it's all garbage. Most of it. Just about all of it. I don't know. Hasty generalization, appeal to extremes, logical fallacies, my friend. For example, Top Gun Maverick, I mean, it's been a number of years now, but that's a solid movie. That's a solid movie. Austin MP says Weapons was entertaining. Yeah, that got pretty good reviews. I might actually check that one out. Oh, the new Knives Out, Austin MP says. Is that 2025 or 2026? Is that really new? I liked the first Knives Out movie. The second one was just complete garbage. I mean, that was just unadulterated trash. Oh no, Knives Out 3 was 2025. Yeah, it was it. I only liked the first one. The second one was terrible. Austin MP says, "Did you watch World War One? Anna vs. Pearl got personal." I watched a few clips of that. I have to do. I'm probably going to do a logical analysis breakdown on that one. Eric Petersman says, "What was hunting season about?" So hunting season, Mel Gibson and his daughter live alone in this cabin in the woods. And I don't know if it's Tennessee or Arkansas, somewhere around there. And a wounded young woman, they happen upon her and they're nursing her back to health, and she has connection to this drug cartel who come looking for her. And it's like a small town nearby, and it's actually a pretty cool setup. I mean, it's nothing revolutionary, nothing super original, but it would have been it's a great first draft type movie. And I haven't specifically gone over that, I don't think. There's actually a few movies like this where it's like a first draft type of movie, where all the ingredients are there to make a great film, and it would have been great if people, if it just had more, if people weren't so apathetic about making it. Everybody might be giving 100%, but Mel Gibson's 100% is Mel Gibson's 1% is everybody else's 100%. So it's like all these other people, they're just not capable of rising to the level of guys like Mel. Dragon Tracer says, Afterburn with Batista had an interesting vibe. Post-apocalyptic films. Yeah, I love post-apocalyptic films. I actually was going to watch that, and I don't like Batista at all. Batista was like the beginning of the end of WWF, WWE, whatever. Like that crop of wrestlers. Just, and the John Cena wiggerisms and all that. Austin MP says, Wolf of Snow Hollow is a small movie directorial debut, but I loved it from 2020. I never even heard of that. Small Utah town terrorized by a werewolf. I'm in. I am totally in. Gonna have to check this out. Let me add this to my list. I really did not watch that many movies made in 2025. I mean, I watch a lot of movies, but 2025, I guess I really didn't see much from 2025. But yeah, I do recall some decent movies from 2024-ish, 2023, 2022 that were really good. The ingredients were all there. I didn't watch the new Superman either. Is that woke trash? Is that woke garbage? Yeah, I'm looking at all these movies released in 2025. I never even heard of most of them. I mean, I guess, did anybody watch Freakier Friday? The Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan, the original one, that one was actually not horrible. But that was kind of my point. Oh, I watched, is The Accountant 2 2025 or 2024? Let me double check this. It was 2025. Okay, I have seen The Accountant 2, and it was so bad. The first one is actually not that bad, and Ben Affleck, I hate Ben Affleck. And playing a retard, he actually did well. Staying true to his, I don't know how much acting he was doing, but yeah, The Accountant Part 1 was good. Clark Rice says, Bruce, how do you feel the X-Files was held up over the years? Gillian Anderson is pretty special. I have talked about the X-Files a couple of times. I don't really want to do a super long breakdown on the X-Files. I actually haven't seen every episode, believe it or not. So, and my memory's fuzzy. I've seen almost none of the, what is it? It's not the is it reboot? Reboot is not, remake is all new. Reboot is bringing something back that hasn't been, no, or reboot is original. What is it called when they bring something back that's with the original cast? No, so remake is not with the original cast. Reboot is with the original cast, or is there another term? Okay, so reboot. Okay, no, revival is a cast. Okay, so reboot is bringing something back which may or may not also be a revival. So a revival will have the new one. Okay, revivals or continuations. All right, so I've watched almost none, but I've seen clips of the new one. I also don't remember the movies. I think I watched the first X-Files movies. There were 2 movies, and yeah, I probably should rewatch it, but I watched a few random episodes here and there of the old one, and it seems to hold up pretty well. I don't have an issue with it. Critter Mama says the new Dexter will be coming out. The Dexter series. I'm a big fan of Dexter. Sarah Catherine says New York Minute was a movie from my childhood. Why does that sound familiar? New York Minute. What year is that? 2004. Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. And Eugene Levy. Okay, now we're talking cinema. Like I said, this is like a PhD course. This should be a PhD course in film theory. I mean, look at all these masterpieces. Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. Steven Seagal. I actually have not seen this one. I don't know if I recall seeing any Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen movies, but I do remember all the commercials and the advertising. I mean, look at this. This has to be a cinematic masterpiece. Now, the question is New York Minute better than Hunting Season? Now we're getting into the real questions here, because I'm not sure. The fact that it was made in an era where people could actually make good movies, I mean, that makes this interesting. Sarah Catherine says it's really funny. Well, anything made from that era, like people trash some of these older movies, like anything made from that era, most of those movies are pretty solid. Reed Deeply says, OMG, now I remember New York Minute. I kind of want to add this to my watch list. Eric Petersman says Toxic Avengers was prime 80s cinema. I like how we're keeping everything super related. Oh, man. The Dexter TV series is probably one of the few TV series that's actually pretty good. And the new season, the Dexter Resurrection, that was actually really good. That might be my favorite new season of television. Although Landman is pretty funny for anybody that watches Landman. It's absolutely hilarious. Probably for all the wrong reasons, but Pinto Sack says, my college roommate introduced me to Raw is War circa 99. Yeah, that was probably the last time it was good. Dragon Tracer says, agree on Batista, but in Afterburn, he was pretty decent. Mr. Normie Bear, hello everyone. Finally made it to a live stream. Welcome, welcome. We're actually just wrapping up now, but yeah, so this is the question now. Somebody, Critter Mama was wondering about Avatar 3. I haven't seen Avatar 2 or 3. I was not the big fan of Avatar 1. I mean, Dances with Wolves in Space. I mean, it's alright, I guess. Is it Cobain Bear or Cocaine Bear? Might have been the most recent film that I laughed at, 2023. The new Spinal Tap was a disappointment. That's what Scott Hawkins said. Austin MP says, Jerry Jones, the second best actor after Alex Jones. Are you saying Jerry Jones? Who is Jerry Jones? I don't know who Jerry Jones is. Is he related to Alex Jones? But anyway, yeah, The Accountant 2 was trash. I mean, pretty much everything that came out in 2025 was trash. So Hunting Season, I don't know if we could, Hunting Season might be one of the best movies of 2025. Even though it's not great. Reed Deeply says, Soylent Green was my 70s sci-fi. My era, they eat people. Eraserhead. Reed Deeply says, I hate myself, but the twins were cute. Haha. Yeah, did anybody see, I forget, where was this part of some documentary, but they were talking about how they were really, abused in the sense that they were forced to work like 10-hour days, like no breaks. They were just running from like marketing one thing, marketing something else, and then all these movies, TV shows, whatever, and their parents were just kind of exploiting them to make like a ton of money. I forget which documentary that was, but I actually don't recall if they ever actually intersected with the really dark weirdos. I don't know. I don't think they ever said anything in that regard. I think they kind of... Didn't they make some comments after the Amanda Bynes thing? Because she, like, quiet on the set and all that stuff. But they said most of their abuse was just in overworking them. Like, having young kids just work 12-hour days or whatever. Reed Deeply says, yeah, they ran them ragged. They became reclusive. It was almost scandalous. Yeah, it was kind of sad. Like, yeah. I mean, how much more money? Like, they were making so much money. Like, they were just always squeezing out a little bit more. Flap Up says, are we wrapping up already? We just started. Yeah, I got a ton of work to do. Eventually, we might get back to those 3-hour lives, but yeah. I mostly just wanted to go over hunting season, and I don't think anybody did their homework. Reed Deeply says, I'd watch hunting season out of all of them. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably watch Afterburn. I'll watch Afterburn. I really like post-apocalyptic movies. Call it genetic memory. Are post-apocalyptic movies appealing to genetic memory of previous resets? And the next reset yet to come. Clark Rice bringing in the Sharknado. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a better movie in 2025 than Hunting Season, and Hunting Season's really not that great. I'm just saying the ingredients are all really good. Like, as a premise, the movie's good. And you know what else I watched recently? I don't know, call me crazy. I don't know if this is like a Mandela movie. I almost said Montel Williams for some reason. Why am I... Montel movie. How many people, like, this was such an under-the-radar movie. I don't remember any advertising or anything. For this movie right here, who saw Showtime in 2002 with De Niro and Eddie Murphy? So this was before Eddie Murphy practically disappeared. I just watched this the other day. It's semi-decent, but it also kind of felt like a First Draft type of movie. Which was strange, because most movies back... I mean, it was still more flushed out than Hunting Season, though. But I kind of think I liked Hunting Season more, which is crazy to say that I would pick a 2025 movie over a 2002 movie. I'm not the biggest Eddie Murphy fan, but I thought he was actually kind of funny in this one. I think it was a decent budget movie, too. $85 million. Yeah, that's not tiny. That is not a small budget. $85 million in 2002. Let's see what that is adjusted for inflation. So that's $153 million today. Wow. Yeah, quite the big budget movie. Reed Deeply says, De Niro and Eddie Murphy, how is that a real thing? Taxi Driver, that's a real thing. Yeah. I mean, it was actually kind of funny, but De Niro just looked mentally checked out in the whole movie, but Eddie Murphy was actually trying. Scott Hawkins says, I saw it decent but amateur. You talking about Showtime? Dragon Tracer asking, what is your favorite movie, Bruce? Oh, that is so tough. I think I went over that, right? On the 80s and 90s? Did I not go over that? I picked my most 80s movie. And yes, something actually beat Bloodsport. I wouldn't call this my favorite movie, but the movie representing the 80s I know it's kind of hard to pick a movie. I don't know if I ever named my favorite movie. I don't know. Maybe Braveheart. So by favorite, you mean the movie that I think is the best? It's probably Braveheart. It's kind of hard to bet against Bloodsport. I mean, Bloodsport's Donald Trump's favorite movie. When you're talking about cinematic masterpieces across the board, just on all technical levels, I mean, it's kind of hard to pick a better movie than Braveheart. But the most 80s movie, I'm going to do a spoiler here. The most 80s movie ever that we determined was the one and only American Anthem. I do not recall a movie that's more 80s than American Anthem. Kill the Bank says Bloodsport was no doubt my favorite back in the day. Probably watched it 100 times. Had every line memorized. Not proud of it. You should. Why would you not be proud of it? I mean, that's one of the greatest accomplishments of cinema in the history of existence. Reed Deeply says, how come you never pick Molly Ringwald, Bruce? I was never a Molly Ringwald fan. Kill the Bank says Roadhouse was up there too. I never liked Roadhouse. I mean, I like Roadhouse. I just don't like Roadhouse as much as some of these others. Okay, so yeah, American Anthem, the most 80s. I don't know, Braveheart, probably the best movie of all time. But how do you pick against Bloodsport for just a favorite fun movie? I don't know. Reed Deeply says, I missed the long lives. I did not do my homework. Alright, so yeah, I mean, Dragon Tracer says, I don't mean the 80s all times. Yeah, I mean, I mean, isn't it the same thing? Other than Braveheart. I mean, it's practically the same thing, right? I mean, most of the greatest movies were made in the 80s, were they not? Who wants to watch the American Anthem trailer again? If you want to watch what's the greatest movie trailer of all time, I'm not going to spoil that one. Check out that podcast if you want the best trailer only, not movie. But yeah, let's close this out with the American Anthem trailer. What a masterpiece of cinema. I mean, cinema doesn't get any better than this. And one of the only perfect 10s that I have ever given out, Wayne Gretzky's current wife. The one and only Janet Jones. And of course, I mean, the soundtrack is just unparalleled. And I don't know, people that love 80s movies, they never mention this movie for some reason. I mean, I guess it's kind of a sleeper, but I mean, to me, it's just such an obvious pick.
There's something you want badly. Are you sure you know what it is?
Just give me a chance.
It's never gonna be great.
That's up to you, isn't it? Keep working. Make it better. You got nothing! You had an opportunity, and you blew it. You gave up!
What about you?
He thinks he let you down.
He hasn't let me down. It's just the opposite.
If you quit now, you'll just be a loser. First it's a scholarship, now it's this. What's next, me?
I will turn around, try to understand all of the feelings I said. If you're serious, love is dangerous, changes.
Also, whatever happened to just feel-good movies? All of the, most new movies are just degenerate nonsense. Degenerate, ego-indulging, narcissistic, promoting filth. Not to mention low-quality filth. Filth that all looks the same. I mean, there's not even dramatic lighting, and all these newer movies look like Netflix specials. I mean, they're all just so monotone in every aspect. Like, what happened to actual fun movies that were also motivating and also had great soundtracks? Like, what? This is just, yeah, this is definitely a throwback. Definitely a throwback.
My world every day. Leave it.
I guess one could argue, like, testosterone levels actually weren't in the gutter back then, so everyone just had more charisma.
And we all just need the same things. I'll tell you what I know. We're heading in the same direction, so never let it go.
American Anthem, the new vision of love and triumph from the director of Purple Rain, featuring the music of Mr.
Mister. What a, I mean, wow.
Nicks, Andy Taylor, John Parr, and In Excess.
I mean, not only were people more real back then, but they also just looked more real. I mean, like, I don't see any plastic there. Does anybody see any plastic? I mean, is there any actress in Hollywood that could come even close to this? Reed Deeply says all the stars now are washed up has-beens. Well, even the up-and-coming, yeah, Flat Bob says actual Barbie without the plastic. Well, also, and I've said this before, it's almost like everybody just had more soul. Like, even in just the acting, the delivery. I mean, look at just the contrast lighting. And this is like a low-quality video, but... I mean, nowadays, everybody's just dialing it in. Or even if they're giving it their all is like 1% of what is considered effort of yesteryear. I mean, have you seen any kind of genuine joy? Like, I know she's acting, but man, what a genuinely joyful smile. Reed Deeply says, did you guys see Miley Cyrus's face? Good grief. Oh, man. Lunchbox says Vision Quest was #1. Vision Quest was pretty good, but the girl in Vision Quest, I mean, not to be rude, but, yeah, I'm not even going to give my rating. I mean, just not comparable. Absolutely not comparable. To Janet Jones. I mean, I don't know what all these celebrities or athletes are thinking when choosing their wives, but it's kind of hard to fault Wayne Gretzky here. It's kind of hard. Critter Mama says natural beauty. I mean, I think part of it is makeup trends, too. Like, caking your face with a ton of makeup. I mean, I'm sure she's probably got some kind of makeup on here, but it seems quite understated. Dragon Tracer says, now I can't unsee it, Bruce, the plastic. Well, also, like, modern makeup just looks so weird. Like, how do you go from this standard to someone like what's the new Snow White or whatever? I mean, the new Snow White, like, her face isn't even symmetrical. Some kind of like weird super wide face. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, a ton of makeup caked on. Like, the entire face looks completely plastic. I don't know what's going on with that haircut either, but whatever. I mean, it just, like, what happened to Hollywood beauty standards? I mean, Hollywood has truly went down the crapper. Flat Bob says her eyes are like 6 inches apart. Reed Deeply says surgery. Dragon Tracer says she can see in multiple dimensions. Lunchbox says like painting a car. But also just like the genuine nature of the acting was different in the 80s. Like now everything's fake. Like even the I mean, obviously the acting is acting, but I mean, just look at this genuine smile and joy here that can just cross the camera, whereas modern actresses can't seem to do that. Like, we could do another comparison here. I don't know who's considered, I don't know, I don't read all those gossip mags, although some people might be surprised at that. So, I don't know if I've seen any of her movies, but Sydney Sweeney or whatever her name is, I mean, I don't know, obviously a massive upgrade from Snow White here, but her face, like, I don't know, it just looks completely plastic. Now, I don't know, maybe she hasn't had any surgery, but it looks like there's like a ton of just like layered up, caked up makeup, just extremely unnatural. I mean, everything unnatural, from the eyebrows to the eyelashes. I mean, they all look kind of just weird. I don't know. Ray Deeply says fillers, like, are you talking about like lip fillers or what's it called? What's the other? I don't know anything about plastic surgery. What's Botox? Botox in the cheeks or something to get rid of wrinkles and the forehead? The fluoride stare. Well, it's also, so Janet Jones was 25 years old here in this movie. Oh, Rachel Zegler was only like 23-ish, maybe. Sydney Sweeney is like 20. I don't know how old she is here, 27 or 28. So not that much older, but are they doing Botox and all that preventatively? Because obviously, I mean, I don't know how many of them would be having like wrinkles in their 20s, but... And also, is it just me, or is everybody, like, even if the weight is the same, obviously this is not a weight-shaming podcast, but just the health and fitness level of the human body. Because even if they weigh the same, just the level of fitness like, I guess you could say how you carry your weight. Part of it's also probably posture. Like, people nowadays, like, I did a Stranger Things cast reading, and the posture of most of them was just horrible, like all hunched over. Here's a shot of Sydney Sweeney in a bathing suit. I mean, quite different, right? Quite a different fitness standard. Like, I don't know what their weights are. Let's say their weight is the same, but that doesn't mean the fitness level is the same. It just like, it seems like all fitness standards just completely went to the gutter. I think a lot of it is posture too. I don't even, like, obviously fitness level, but posture. Reed Deeply says, not fit, they just get the fat sucked out. Okay, that's interesting. That could explain, like, the body composition and weight distribution, even if the total weight is the same. So, yeah. But, I mean, you know, back in the day, there were actual standards. But, yeah, I don't know who could compete with Janet Jones here. Dragon Tracer says, weight doesn't look the same. I'm just saying, let's say it is, though, because I think you could find examples where the weight is the same, but the body composition and distribution is completely different because the fitness level is not the same. Critter Mama says, that was the thing. We used to work out 3 to 4 times a week and walk dogs. I never see people walking dogs anymore. Reed Deeply says, there's also cold sculpting. Yeah, Reed Deeply seems to know about all this stuff, but yes. Whereas, I don't know. Give me Janet Jones any day. I mean, I don't think. I mean, is it just me, or is this not even close? Like, no offense to Sydney Sweeney, she looks better than like 99% of most of the Hollywood people, but still, just not comparable to the past. But anyway, I don't really want to end on that, but just, yeah, Hollywood's definitely gone down the drain. Before we get hit with all the sexist goofs, let's compare. Let's compare It's kind of funny. A guy with the name Mitch Gaylord is way more manly than the so-called leading men of today. So this is action superstar Ryan Reynolds doing all these big action movies. Is there a comparison here? I mean, it's just like there's no charisma, there's no cool factor, there's no fitness level compared to one Mitch Gaylord. Well, it's also, I don't know, there's just something about the charisma. I don't know, just the charisma, I guess. Like, all these newer guys, like, even if they're jacked, like the new Jack Reacher or whatever, he's jacked like crazy. He just doesn't really have any charisma. He's no Arnold. He's no Stallone. He's no Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's no... And Steven Seagal wasn't even jacked. But the charisma, just, like, off the charts, none of these new people have charisma. I think it's mostly just because the human soul has just been sucked from them in the forms of screens and food additives and chemtrails and all that stuff, that you just don't have genuinely mentally and physically fit people anymore, like mentally and physically healthy. Even if they, you know, do steroids or just get in really good shape, it's just not the same as a genuine human being from the 80s or 90s. Reed Deeply says he looks like my dog after he gets yelled at for sorting through the garbage. Oh man. No, but there's just no comparison. Like, cool factor alone, like, none of these guys can hold a candle to 80s actors. But anyway, we're going to wrap it for now, so I will, Goosedin says, I always had this theory the kids who grew up on well water are jacked. Look at NFL linemen. A lot of them are farm boys who grew up in BFE. I mean, I don't know. For every one of those, you do have, I mean, I don't know. Look at Mike Tyson from, you know, he's from Crooklyn drinking that kind of sewer water. I mean, there's always exceptions. I don't know. But thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Catch you guys next time.